I'm back in the creepy room. Don't worry about that. How's it going, guys? Hopefully you have an amazing day. Hopefully everything is going great. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Actually, it's going to be a lot different. So if you want to see the daily content, you can pause the video right now and just come back tomorrow and it'll be back to regular. But what I'm about to show you is an interview with Brian that I told you that I had, the film director and the guy who did 5 feature films so far, and it's something that I've worked very, very hard on, and me and Ethan and our whole crew put a lot of time into this, so hopefully you guys like this. It's a 5-minute interview and it is something very dear to my heart and hopefully to the other people who made it, because it was so much fun to make and it was such a great experience. So until tomorrow, guys, have a great rest of your day. Later.
Brian Jin. I'm a visiting assistant professor in film, television, and video production. How did I get my start in film? As a teenager, initially I thought I wanted to become an actor, and I was very fascinated with theater and performance art, and guys like Sam Shepard and Harold Pinter, and sort of the modern playwrights. And that transitioned into more of a visual art. And I saw my interests really kind of encompassing a broad spectrum. As far as things that really inspired me growing, as a adolescent and teenager, I was really interested in the American independent film scene of the 80s and 90s, and also going back to the 60s and 70s, guys like John Cassavetes, Jim Jarmusch, filmmakers like Alexander Rockwell, Ken Loach, all these directors that were really flourishing in the 80s and 90s, I really identified with. Also the classic cinema, the classic Hollywood cinema of the 70s, films by Bob Rafelson and John Schlesinger, 5 Easy Pieces, Midnight Cowboy, The Last Picture Show. Those films from the golden age of cinema I became very interested in those sort of down and out, blue collar, Americana melodramas. That's what really got me into filmmaking. Well, that's the thing. When I was an adolescent, I didn't have any help. I didn't know who to turn to because nobody was doing this. When I was in the 90s, digital cinema wasn't around, and there wasn't this, YouTube wasn't around. There wasn't the opportunity that there is today to be visual and to tell stories, and I didn't know who to turn to. The only filmmaker that I was able to really get in touch with was a man named George Hickenlooper, who was from St. Louis, and he was the one I really identified with. My biggest accomplishment, well, I would say after I graduated from Webster, writing and directing and producing my first feature film is something I feel very, very proud of. Not only did the film do well commercially, it screened at film festivals all over the world and premiered at the 2006 Sundance Film Festival. It was really, I think I did receive a little bit of beginner's luck in that aspect, because I haven't been able to duplicate that experience again. How did I make myself stand out? I don't think I had any qualities ahead of everyone else. I can tell you for a fact, while I was here at Webster, there were so many more of my peers that I feel like did better work than me, that were more talented, that were more creative. The thing that made me stand out is that I worked my butt off. I did everything in my power to get up in the morning and do something productive that was going to help my career, whether it was working on a screenplay, whether it was making calls, sending the script out, scouting locations. I was determined. I had this persistence that I was not going to allow myself to fail. I was going to do whatever it takes. The advice first of all, the students at Webster today, the program that Webster has put together, this new curriculum, is absolutely phenomenal. You really have the opportunity here to find and flourish where your true skill set is. And I encourage all young filmmakers to take as many broad classes as possible and to focus in on where you excel, where's your aptitude, because you'll find where your skill set and your aptitude meet. And where that sweet spot is most likely where you will excel. And What people, I think film students fail to realize is there's such a broad spectrum of careers within the industry. But it's up to you to show up every morning and put in 100% to find out where you excel. Because if you really find out where you excel, you will be that much more prepared when you graduate to apply those skills. Because you need to remember, every little field, every little position in the industry is highly competitive. So you have to be, you can't be good at a bunch of things. You have to be excellent at one thing.